to.
Which calls for what kind of approach from the Biden administration? What it's doing, basically?
It's the best we have right now. I really don't see how we can go beyond this. The Iranians are waiting for our election. They're not going to make any major compromises on anything until they see whether it's second-term Biden or it's, God forbid, Trump again. But I do believe that they are cautious, more cautious than we give them credit for, and that there is a way to work with them. Of course, the most important thing is to get a ceasefire in Gaza, because once we get a ceasefire in Gaza, then the pressure is off all of these various proxy groups, right? They don't have to prove their manhood anymore once the
Ray,
shooting stops.
Do you want to jump in and respond to what you're hearing?
Well, I'm in intellectual paralysis, so I mean, I have a way out. But I will say the following: the question that I think is actually a basic question, but a threshold question. Why haven't the Iranians crossed the nuclear threshold? Probably there's no technological barrier to it, and the answer to that is speculative. And my speculation is as follows. The unsettled domestic situation that they have at a time of transition to a new succession, but unsettled domestically, and the fear of foreign reprisal at the time when your domestic situation is so unsettled is acting as a restraint. That's just a theory. You don't have to agree with it. And therefore, what needs to happen is for domestic situation to deteriorate further. And to some extent, sanctions make sense, not as a way of obtaining an arms control agreement. I don't believe the Iranian nuclear program is susceptible to diplomatic mediation. Next administration on previous one, but I do think if they're in a weak position internally and fearful of a reprisal from abroad because it will further aggravate the domestic situation, that is what's restraining them. And therefore, those are things you can control.
Okay. So we're straying a little bit, and some of this is on me, to solutions and what can be, as opposed to we've moved a little bit beyond the judgment on Biden's policy. So I want to bring it back a little bit to there and bring it to you, Mike. Some of the points that Barbara has been making. Ray just said he doesn't think there's a diplomatic conversation to be had with the Iranians about nuclear weapons. The Biden administration hoped to get back there. You obviously are not voting for that, but I want to know why. What's your assessment of where the Iranians are on that?
I think that the Iranians are moving ever closer to a nuclear weapon. I think.
Well, we know that,
yeah,
though.
but Ray said he feels that they're restrained. I don't see restraint. I see steady motion toward a nuclear weapon. I see that they are already gaining from the closeness to a nuclear weapon that they have achieved from a lot of the benefits that come from having a nuclear weapon. So one of the reasons why the Biden administration does not want to escalate is it fears that Iran will rush to a bomb.